We come here today with an incredible amount of anger in our hearts. Right after the Palestinians got our relatives slowing down from the murderous, genocidal rampage of the Zionist regime, right after they marched back to what remains of their homes, to the 40 million tons of rubble that once used to be the places they grew up in, the places they went to school in, the places that housed their memories and past, Israel launches a new attack. How can we not be angry? Almost 900 Palestinians have been killed in the last 10 days. Almost 71,000 people were killed before the ceasefire. Our anger cannot stop, friends. We need to turn our collective anger into energy and power that moves change. Our presence, our people power, has to be a tremendous pressure on every institution to boycott and divest. Our anger has to turn into a blockade against funding Israeli weapons that murder infants and children like Mohammed Naim Sha'ban, Siwar Jamasi, Hind Rajab, Hassan Muhammad, and Aziz Karam. We cannot burn out with despair. We need to burn brighter, stronger than before. Yes, we are angry at the injustice happening. At the same time, we need to remember that the story of the Palestinians who have been suffering under the rule of apartheid and ethnic cleansing for almost 8 years now is not only one of death and destruction. It is a story about liberation, about standing up for what is right, regardless of the circumstances. It is a story where your voice becomes a weapon, where the expo marker becomes a weapon, where the rock you pick up from the ground to throw at a tank that's 400 times heavier than you becomes an even stronger weapon. غزة علمت العالم معنى الصمود والتضحية. We here today are a group of people who might not have never come together under any other circumstance. But Palestine has brought us together and showed us that if we stand for nothing, we will fall for everything. Gaza exposed the incompetencies of our media. It exposed how compromised our news cycle is. Palestine showed us that while we have been silent, we have lost our rights. It taught us to raise our voices and demand that our calls be heard. Palestine exposed the hypocrisy and the lack of accountability of our public and international institutions. Palestine taught us that we do not live in a bubble, isolated away from the rest of the world, that we have a responsibility to stand up and fight for what is right, because decolonizing Palestine is decolonizing the world. Our presence needs to extend beyond our community. We need to amplify Palestinian voices. Being an activist isn't just about going to demonstrations. Being an activist means all your family, your friends, your neighbors, and your colleagues have all heard the stories and struggles of Najil Ali, Ghassan Kanafani, Razan al-Najjar, Muna al-Kurd, and many, many more. Our fight for Palestine has to be in thought, in talk, in action, publicly and privately. We need to organize together to amplify our strength. If the media wants to silence our voices, fine. We will boycott and push for boycott until every McDonald's in the country closes. We will pressure and pressure and pressure companies like Siemens, HP, Glock to divest from their businesses with Israel. This year marks the 20-year anniversary of BDS. As of last year, Israel's debt has skyrocketed to approximately $340 billion. In June 2024, Intel was forced to scrap a $25 billion project that it had planned to build not far from Gaza. 130 Israeli economists have said that there is a high probability that Israel's economy and society will fall into a spiral of collapse. That once Israel's burden-bearing population concludes that the country is on a permanently irreparable course, the national collapse will inevitably follow. A collapse that would mean freedom and peace for the Palestinian people. In September, the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly voted for sanctions on Israel for the first time in 42 years. Now it is up for us people across the world to pressure our governments to cut military ties, impose an energy embargo, and impose meaningful targeted sanctions against Israel. It is our duty to boycott and demand for BDS. It is time to show the world that people power makes apartheid history. Thank you very much.